Ooh, yeah. Get ready to step into the ring as we explore the electrifying tag team of professional wrestling and rock and roll. In this episode of Prisoners of Rock and Roll, we're going to take a look at the iconic rock and wrestling era of the 1980s when the WWF superstars climbed out of the ring and picked up the mic to record two albums of them singing. 1985's The Wrestling Album and 1987's Pile Driver, The Wrestling Album 2. And we're going to talk about how Cyndi Lauper helped bring wrestling into the mainstream. Then we're going to check out some iconic entrance music from wrestling history and listen to some other albums that wrestlers have put on over the years. We've got some weird stuff. Junkyard Dog singing on American Bandstand. The Mouths of the South, Jimmy Hart's top 10 hit in the 60s with a song that you probably already know. And Mean Gene Okerlund's Rockabilly album of the 50s. And what a better time than do this. WrestleMania 40 is happening in Philadelphia, and our home base at McCusker's Tavern is hosting a very special event with our friend and former professional wrestling star, the Blue Meanie, who calls McCusker's his favorite bar on the planet. So what you gonna do, brother, when the prisoners of rock and roll run wild on you?
Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Prisoners of Rock and Roll, episode number 81. My name is Bruce Kramer, and I'm happy to introduce my co-host and tag team partner. You know him. You love him. If I'm Bobby the Brain Heenan, he's Gorilla Monsoon, the one and only Ryan McCusker.
Are you rocking, brother?
I had to cut that monologue like twice because I started laughing halfway
It's
through it.
hysterical,
So
dude.
So
It was
stupid.
so good. No, it was great.
Prisoners of Rock and Roll is sponsored by Boldfoot Socks as well, McCusker's Tavern in Philadelphia, and our show is proudly part of the family over at the Pantheon Podcast Network. What's going on, brother?
Everything is great, man. What's going on with you?
Not much, dude. You sound awesome. We figured out the technical glitch we had last week.
Oh, I got new headset, so everything must come together. I don't know. You buy one thing, you got to get another thing for another thing. You make it all work.
True that, man. This is a weird topic, dude. There's more to this topic than I thought there was going to be, diving into this.
Or I discovered rock and roll. Like, it was all about wrestling to me as a little kid. I was the generation of Hulk Hogan, like the Hulkamaniacs. I would hear that. We opened up with the Hulk Hogan song, I'm a Real American. But what was more hype than him fucking walking out and that song's playing? And he makes it to the ring and he fucking rips open the shirt. What's more iconic than that? There's nothing.
Right. The prayers, the vitamins, the training, the pythons.
All pythons.
Yeah, all that stuff, man. I was into wrestling then too. I probably stopped around like 1990. Just reading all this stuff. I was kind of like, okay, I could tell where the stuff that I knew and the stuff that I didn't. I was like, yeah, right around 1990, I probably stopped. But
McCuskers has such a wrestling following because of the Blue Meanie, Brian. He always tweets that he's at McCuskers, hold his calls. So, I think WrestleMania weekend is going to be a big weekend at McCuskers.
I was so happy to hear that it was going to be in Philadelphia because Brian, the Blue Meanie, is a good dude, and he's a friend of the show. He's a friend of the bar. We've talked about him before, and we are going to have him on for an episode at some point. Yeah, man, I know him being in the WWF, that wrestling was such a huge part of his life, and it was just cool that it was like in his hometown, and he's having that big event at McCuskers. Right before
Got all kinds of things going on that weekend. He's doing some meet and greet stuff, and he's got a party at McCuskers, and who knows what he's going to be up to. I'm pretty excited to see who's going to show up at McCuskers.
Yeah, dude.
He has so many great friends.
It's funny, like I've been in McCuskers, and he's been there, and friends of mine who are like wrestling fans have been like, that's the Blue Meanie over there. I was like, yeah, it's Brian. He's a really good dude, man. You want me to go introduce you to him? It just like I've brought friends there who didn't know that he hung out there. It was just super cool.
Yeah. He's been hanging at the bar for like 20 years. Not 20 years straight, but he's been hanging at the bar for about 20 years now.
He's such a good dude, man. I know he's done a lot of stuff with like sick kids and just another friend of mine said like I posted a picture with him one time. Like I ran in with the bar and we're like, hey, what's up? And I put it on my social media, and just some dude that I'm friends with was like, hey man, I gotta say your friend was so nice to my kids when I met him. Like he stopped whatever he was doing and signed autographs. And I hear that all the time. Super nice.
I've been places with Brian. I've concerts with him, and he can't even walk through the parking lot. People are just like screaming out his name and shit. And it's like, if anything, I feel great for him. And like, I'm like walking in with his coattails and people think I'm somebody. They're like, who are you? I'm like, nobody. I'm Ryan McCusker. That's who I am.
It really gives you a glimpse into what the Warden must go through every day with the fans.
He's a sex symbol, that Warden.
He is. I actually have a little promo that the Meanie sent over for Meanie Mania at McCuskers. And, you graciously reached out to him and asked him to send us something, and he put it together. And, dude, here, I'll just play it.
Right.
Dr. Fisher's Medical Weight Loss and Aesthetic Centers, along with Mind the Meanie podcast, presents Meanie Mania, the pay-per-brew kickoff event. Thursday night, April 4th, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. 21 and older to attend with no cover at McCusker's Tavern on the corners of 17th at Shunk at 2601 South 17th Street in South Philly. Come hang out with ECW Original and WWE alumni The Blue Meanie at his favorite bar on the planet, McCusker's Tavern. McCusker's is the perfect spot to kick off your Mania week and go to for a pre- and post-wrestling event hang. Remember, McCusker's is cash only, but they do have an ATM on site. Lyft, Uber, and taxi services are highly recommended to and from McCusker's. 7 minutes from Lincoln Financial Field, 10 minutes from the 2300 Arena, and 15 minutes from Center City. Meanie Mania is also brought to you by Dr. Fisher's Medical Weight Loss and Aesthetic Centers on 2543 South Broad Street in Philadelphia. Go to bodybyfishernow.com. That's bodybyfishernow.com. Mind of the Meanie podcast drops every Monday morning at 6 a.m. and find our entire archive at mindofthemeanie.com. Meanie Mania, the pay-per-brew kickoff event, Thursday night, April 4th, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m.
All right. So there's a lot going on there, man.
I'm excited. I'd like to wish everybody to come out and have a good time with us.
Yeah,
everybody's going to be there.
Everybody
fits in at McCuskers.
That goddamn right. All right, man. So the wrestling stuff, I totally agree, man. I grew up on all that, the era of Roddy Piper and Hogan. And I was like, even I was listening to all this shit, I was like, oh my God, I think my third grade talent show was me and some buddies did the Piper's Pit when Andre the Giant turned heel, and I was Roddy Piper. It was just awesome. But
when I think of Rowdy Piper, I think of the coconut thing.
Oh my God, yeah, we were
super light snooker.
We were
in the
joking
head with
that
a coconut.
We said we were gonna break one over the Warden's head, like Jimmy Superfly Snooker. Classic. All right, man. So maybe to start, I went back and I got a bunch of stuff around like the rock and wrestling era, which I didn't even remember that being called that. But
I do, absolutely, okay. Yeah. It was like wrestling was new to cable television, as MTV was. WWF was on the USA Network, on the weekends. So I could see how they pushed together on cable TV.
No, you're exactly right. And I guess MTV and the WWF did a lot of crossovers together. And one of the people that played a huge role in this was Cyndi Lauper. And I got a little bit like, it's so weird. Like, how did that happen? So Cyndi Lauper was getting ready to start working on the video for Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And her boyfriend she was dating her manager, this guy named David Wolf. And David Wolf was a huge wrestling fan. And he was like, dude, it would be awesome if we could get Captain Lou Albano to play your dad in the video. And Cyndi Lauper had like met him before, like on an airplane. And the producers of the video knew Vince McMahon. So long story short, they made it happen. And Captain Lou was in that video. And the video was a hit. It won the MTV Video Music Award for the best female video at the very first VMAs. Cyndi Lauper wins a Grammy that year for Best New Artist. And when she comes out on stage to accept her Grammy, Hulk Hogan walks out with her as a bodyguard.
That's hysterical. Like she needs one.
Yeah, it was like just being funny, being silly. So, and then
I guess that was the time when Prince had a bodyguard,
right?
And that was like he was like Big John Studd or some shit.
So then her boyfriend, their manager, David Wolf, goes like, "Hey, you should start doing something with wrestling. If you had these guys in your video, you had him in your video, Captain Lou." So, they were like, "Dude, it's perfect for you because you have like this big personality and your brand. It'll also help you branch out beyond like women." If I remember this right, it was like the WWF started a skit where Captain Lou started saying like, "I'm really your manager, not this other jabroni." And then it kind of turned into them both like managing wrestlers at WrestleMania 1, I think.
Yeah. I remember watching WrestleMania 1 on pay-per-view. And I totally remember Cyndi Lauper being on it. Absolutely.
I remember them like, I think both, it was like one of them was managing the Fabulous Moolah. And I'm really rusty on this shit. And I didn't look it all up. But
yeah, she was definitely like managing some kind of the good guy team.
So then fast forward a little bit more. She's making the video for her song for the Goonies. The Goonies are good enough. And she has a bunch of the WWF characters are all in the music video, which is
I remember.
They're not in the they're not in the Goonies movie, but they're in the video.
But they're in like the Iron Sheik's in it.
Yeah.
Nikolai Volkov's in it.
So they're in that. And then like 1985, the boyfriend, David Wolf, and manager, he decides that he pitches the idea to a couple of the wrestlers, dude, we should make an album. And he's like, I know Rick Derringer. Rick Derringer would produce it. And Rick Derringer, he obviously played that Hulk Hogan theme that we just played, but he was also in a band called the McCoys. He was famous for this song, which you probably know.
Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Snoopy lives in a very bad part of town.
Just one of those songs.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a great.
I love that song.
Great.
Yeah.
So he wrote that, and he had a hit with that, and he also wrote he does the Hulk Hogan theme. But then if you look in the liner notes for this album, the wrestling album, Cyndi Lauper is listed. There's a character called Mona Flambe as the producer, and that's Cyndi Lauper. And for some weird reason, Hulk Hogan isn't on this, even though there's their biggest
The biggest
star
name.
at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, going into the song, so the album is not on Spotify. You had to go find it on YouTube, but I have it, and I've got some notes on a couple of the songs, and we can talk about any of the ones that you want.
I'm talking about all of them.
The first song on the album, man, was "The Land of a Thousand Dances," and that was great.
It
was awesome because it was it was a big hit from Wilson Pickett. And in this version, they like rewrote part of it, so it's like the verses are about the rest. Yeah,
Piper's like, Hogan's such a yo-yo.
What makes it so awesome is the video, because the video has them all on the stage together, and Cyndi Lauper's in there wearing a wig, like a black wig. Meatloaf is playing the drums for the band for some weird reason. Yeah, no idea why, but
interesting.
Let me play a little bit of it from YouTube.
Please do.
Such a
got to move up to the sheet. I said, clap your hands. He said, clap your hands. And then you move your feet.
God, the production on that is awful. The snare drum sounds like a Casio, like keyboard drums.
It's so bad, and that's what makes it so hilarious. And I said the video is just—it's so
Yeah.
good. I watched it this week, and I was like, "There's certain guys in it, like I don't even remember who that was,
Oh God, like
but really, really
like
funny,
Paul
man.
Orndorff is in there, and
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful,
Wonderful, yeah. Who is
Yeah.
the Hillbilly Jim?
Hillbilly Jim. He has his own song on this album. We can get to.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to get to that.
All right, and then another great song was Junkyard Dog singing "Grab Them Cakes," which is written by Cyndi Lauper's boyfriend.
Of
And,
course it is.
and it's so funny because Junkyard Dog, when they're promoting this, he went on American Bandstand with Dick Clark, and he performed it. And well, first of all, before I play the song, dude, so Grab Them Cakes with Junkyard Dog is also, it features Vicky Sue Robinson, who is another person you know because she sings this song.
Turn the beat around. Love to hear percussion. Turn it upside down. Love to hear percussion.
Right? So went from that huge disco hit to she's singing with Junkyard Dog, singing Grab Them Cakes.
See how the industry treats you. One minute you're up in a big song, now you're backing up to Junkyard Dog.
So here's a little bit of Grab Them Cakes.
Everybody's doing it because it feels so good. All you need is a partner that know how to move, and the rest is real easy. You just dig the groove, and when you get yourself started, it's hard to stop. You just go for your partners. You know what? And then you GRABTAGMCAKE. Grab them cakes.
Oh, what's that do?
Grab them cakes.
I don't care what it takes.
That might be my
Could have come up
favorite.
with a better song than that.
That might be my favorite song out of all of these, all this
Hysterical.
stuff on here.
The thing that I remember about the Junkyard Dog is that he came out that Another One Bites the Dust.
He did, and then Vince McMahon wasn't willing to keep paying the royalties for that.
Ah. Okay.
And remember the cartoon, the Hulk Hogan rock and roll rock and
yeah.
wrestling connection?
Fuck yeah.
Junkyard Dog, like every episode, would say "Another One Bites the Dust." Like that was like his tagline, even though it wasn't
Oh.
a song anymore.
It kind of was. I mean, you heard that dum dum dum. You know, he was coming out. Remember, he had Thump on his fucking
Yes,
trousers?
yeah, on his ass.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more songs that are worth talking about over this. So, "Real American" is on there by Rick Derringer, but there's also a song on here called Hulk Hogan's Theme, which is totally different. That was like his original theme.
See him,
And-
like the montage of him working out, like Rocky, with that song in the background.
So he wound up dropping that as his theme, but that song shows up again later. Check this out. This is a song called "Ravishing" by Bonnie Tyler. she sings eventually, but yeah, so that song it's the Hulk Hogan themes.
I don't even remember the Hulk Hogan theme,
I don't either. It was
but it was on the Rock and Wrestling album.
on the album, and that was the theme for the cartoon too, that song.
Oh, okay.
So yes, and Bonnie Tyler, who wrote Total Eclipse of the Heart, wound up playing that for some reason. So
Weird.
another one on here, which I thought was awesome, is Rowdy Roddy Piper has a song called For Everybody, and it's a cover of a song by Mike Angelo and the Idols called Fuck Everybody. And and he changes the lyrics, but it's so like half-assed. He goes like, instead of like kiss my ass, he goes like kiss my trash.
He's
Here's-
so awesome.
Here's a little bit of Rowdy Roddy's version, and we can play some of the original.
I used to worry about the people, thought about me. Now I don't care less. As you can plainly see, they said I was stupid. They said I was strange. Well, maybe I am, but I'll never change. The world may not like me, but that's okay. There's only one thing I got to say, yeah. For everybody. For everybody. Talk about me, a bunch of dirty lies. And then they knock me till they make me cry.
All right. It doesn't even make any sense. Like,
No.
all the thing I got to say is For Everybody.
Oh,
Here's the original Fuck Everybody.
I used to worry about what people thought about me. Now I couldn't care less, as you can plainly see. They said I was stupid. They said I was strange. Well, maybe I am, but I'll never change. The world may not like me, but that's okay. There's only one thing I've got to say. Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody. They talked about me. A bunch.
I like that.
I like it too. How can I not like it?
Right.
How can I not like fuck everybody?
Amazing when I just tried to look that up on YouTube, how many results show up for different and diverse things. When you look Fuck Everybody up in YouTube. But yeah, dude, I was digging that. It was like a song from it looked like it was 1980 that came out. I've never heard of that band before.
Yeah, I
But-
never heard that.
I was digging it. So, all right.
Why
Um,
not?
Sure. Hillbilly Jim is on this album, and he does a song called Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy. And I was reading a little bit. Hillbilly Jim, actually, he had like a little bit of like musical knowledge. Like he played guitar as a kid, and he kind of like messed around with. He said when they showed him this, he was like, dude, this song sucks. I don't want to do it. But what makes it so funny is this song was written by a dude named Doc Pomus, who Doc Pomus is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. He wrote a handful of things that you would know, such as This Magic Moment by the Drifters, Save the Last Dance for Me by the Drifters, Viva Las Vegas by Elvis,
No.
Teenager in Love by Dion and the Belmonts, and Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy by Hillbilly Jim.
He really hit bottom of the barrel with Hillbilly Jim.
Like you said, the music industry could be very fleeting sometimes. Here's a little bit of Hillbilly Jim.
Don't go messing with a country boy, a country boy, a country boy. Don't go messing with a country boy, don't mess with a country boy. When I was a little bitty boy, baby, I cut my teeth on a big old tree. Mama filled my bottle from my moonshine still. My first meal was a bass she killed. A bass she killed, a bass she killed. My first meal was a bass she killed.
Hillbilly was right. He's like, this song sucks.
How do you say, like, when I was a baby, I cut my teeth on a tree or something so
Oh,
bad.
God.
And it's also one of the guys who played like dueling banjos from Deliverance is playing the banjo on that song.
Nothing but superstars on this record.
Absolutely. They
Rick
spared no.
Derringer. Everybody's on this record.
All right, I got two more songs on here that are worth talking about. And the first one was Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield by Jimmy Hart, The Mouth of the South.
I love Jimmy Hart, man. He was great.
Jimmy
He was
Hart,
fucking awesome.
he was awesome. He was also in a band in the 60s called the
Yeah.
Gentrys, who had a hit with this song.
I keep on dancing for Daddy gonna turn the jerk right now. Shake it, baby. Come on and show me how you work. Now you're in motion, Daddy gonna do the locomotion, yeah. Don't hurry me away. Shake it, turn the rhythm down. Keep on dancing and a prancing. Keep on dancing and a prancing.
That's a great song, dude.
Yeah, isn't it? It's rocking.
It's like real catchy, and it has Jimmy Hart singing on that.
Out of the South, Jimmy Hart.
He was a big part behind this wrestling album, and he produces a bunch of other like albums that artists came out with later.
He always
He-
had his gimmick, always had like music notes on his jacket and shit. You know, he always looked like a radio disc jockey from the 50s.
Yeah, he managed the Honky Tonk Man. We'll get to him. He's on the second wrestling album, but here's his song, Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Her mother said she was gone for the night. She had 2 tickets to a rock and roll show to see her walking class hero. So I jumped in my car and I cruised downtown. I could hear the music playing from a mile around. So I got me a ticket and I walked inside. I could see him standing there in the spotlight. Eat your heart out, Rick Springfield. She's my girl and she always will be the only girl for me. Ain't no rock and roll singer gonna take her away from me.
Oh, I remember that, dude.
I feel like
remember that.
that could have been a bigger hit if that had a little bit better production on it.
I was thinking, why wasn't that the single? And the Junkyard Dog awful song was. This could have been, a lot more catchy, I don't
Right.
know.
Right, it's kind of funny, and he can sing. He hit those high notes right there.
Yeah, he's, I don't know. What was
He-
Vince McMahon thinking?
He's way more talented than all the other people on this. Well, that's not true, because there is one other dude on here who's really talented, and that is Mean Gene Okerlund.
Oh, what a treasure he is.
Dude, he was great, and because he was like the little nerdy kind of dude, he rips a version of Tutti Frutti.
Yes.
And he was actually in a band in the 50s called Gene Carroll and the Shades. And I found it on Spotify. And here's a song called Is It Ever Gonna Happen? It was like a rockabilly band. Check this out. This is Mean Gene Okerlund singing.
Is it ever gonna happen? Is it ever gonna be? Is it ever gonna happen? Baby, now to me. Oh, it's well, tell me. And I got a funny feeling. The feeling's going round. Got a funny feeling.
I dig that.
It's hard to believe it's him.
I know, right?
He had such a different voice during his broadcasting with the
Yeah.
wrestling.
And then, so here's him rocking Tutti Frutti. This is awesome.
Womp bump a loop bump a womp bamboo to the fruity. Alrighty, to the fruity. Alrighty, hey, to the fruity. Alrighty, to the fruity. Alrighty, to the fruity. Alrighty. A womp bump a loop bump a womp bamboo. I got a gal, her name is Sue. That knows just what to do. I got a gal, her name is Sue. That knows just what to do. Knows how to love me, yes indeed, but brother don't know what you're doing to me. To the fruity.
Love it.
That was rockabilly-ish.
Yeah, I would totally remember that as a kid hearing that.
Did you have this record?
I think I did. I think I had it on cassette.
We had it on vinyl.
I totally remember the Land of a Thousand Dances video as a kid.
Sure.
And I was like, I had a subscription to WWF magazine, and
I love that magazine. That was a great magazine.
Yeah, I went to the Spectrum. My parents hated wrestling. I made them take me to the Spectrum to watch Ricky the Dragon Steamboat wrestle Macho Man, and I went to a card signing and met like Paul Orndorff. I was really into it when I was young. So I think that's oh wait, no, Nikolai Volkov.
Yes, I remember this. This is great.
He covers Karamia by Jay and the Americans. Here's the original by Jay and the Americans.
Each time we part, my heart wants to die. Darling, hear my prayer. Just believe there. I'll be your love till the
It starts rather slow, but it picks up.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's nothing compared to this.
Yes.
Must we say goodbye? It's time we part. My heart won't go down. Not in hurt my bird.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. That is awful.
Oh,
You all right, bro?
my,
You all
yeah,
right?
dude, I was
You look
laughing.
like you're gonna die there.
Oh my God, I was like, I had my hand over my mouth. I was trying to stop from laughing so hard.
Oh God, that is awful.
That's really terrible. Just,
Did they even try to make this album good? They just threw a bunch of crap together and slapped their name on it.
Vince McMahon made wrestling all about like merchandising. I was thinking today, it was like on a Kiss level of,
Oh yeah.
it was everywhere. And this was right. Like I again, I'm a little rusty on my wrestling. But if I remember correctly, wrestling was largely like regional. And then when Vince bought WWE, he was trying to make it like a national thing. And it was all about like marketing and branding and things like that. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, there was thousands of different wrestling organizations. You know, like you said, like every county had one.
Yeah. And this album it went up to 84 on the Billboard 200 chart. So it was like,
why?
It had like moderate success. I guess people wanted to hear the wrestlers on it. I don't know.
That's how wrestling was big. I mean, you know, that's how big it was.
And they promoted the hell out of it, and all the crossovers with MTV and stuff like that. And it was so good that 2 years later, they came out with a second one.
They sure did. Pile Driver.
The Wrestling Album 2. This also was never released on CD, and it was on cassette and you had it?
Yes, I did.
And you could get a VHS tape that had videos for almost all of these songs. And it's never been released on CD. As I said, actually for like Record Store Day several years ago, they released both of them together.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have loved to have that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even look on eBay what the hell that goes for anymore. But
Priscilla, don't buy it for me.
It's not worth it. Whatever it's sold for. So the first song on here on this album is called "Girls in Cars" by Robbie Dupree and Strike Force. And Strike Force was Tito Santana and Rick Martel.
I like Tito Santana. He was awesome.
The Flying Burrito. And Robbie Dupree, he had a hit with this song, "Steal Away."
then show me what I want to know. Why don't we steal away?
Oh God, that's fucking awful.
It's just it's yacht
That's like
rock.
a dentist office fucking chair, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's nothing compared to this wonderful song, Girls in Cars, that he made. I was reading like an interview with him or another podcast. I do have to give a shout out to the Bizarre Albums podcast. I referenced them before, but
Yeah.
they did the guy did separate episodes on both of these albums and I listened to, and they were huge with my reference material. So shout out to them. They do an awesome job. But they were talking about an interview with Robbie Dupree, and he was just like, well, fuck it, the money's good, I'll just do it. And he was like, this is how terrible it was. Here's Girls in Cars. I have no idea what this has to do with anything with wrestling.
They pass you on the road with a smile and you have to look twice. And you wonder to yourself, could a woman really look that nice? Girls in cars. Girls in cars. I love girls in cars. Girls in cars. They always catch your eye.
All right, awful.
Awful. God, it reminds me of something in a bad 80s movie.
Also, the wrestling album and Pile Driver, the 2 LP anniversary vinyl set, is on eBay for $125.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's about $20
I'm
a
good.
song. Yeah,
No, thanks. I'm
Yeah.
good.
don't need that. But and I have no idea why. So the liner notes say that that's Tito Santana and Rick Martel. I doubt that they're playing
Anything.
the instrumental version of that song became their intro music. But whatever.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
God bless.
Another song on here that you mentioned, you messaged me this week was the song Pile Driver. So the title track, and that's by Coco Beware.
Yeah. Remember he had the parrot?
Frankie. Yeah, he would do the Birdman. He would like flap his
That's
wings.
right. He had the bird
Yeah.
dance.
This song sucks too.
Sometimes love is like a slow dance. You can tiptoe around, but don't make a sound. You can make the silent romance. But sometimes love sounds like a fight. It sounds like an argument. It sounds just like a power driver.
It sounds like an argument.
How much fucking cocaine were they doing, man? Jesus
So,
Christ.
oh my God.
Like, oh, it sounds good. It sounds great.
Give me another line.
Yeah.
I had a lot of this stuff in my notes for when celebrities do albums. The episode just ran so long, we didn't get to it. And I was like, oh my God, man. Some of this is so like,
So
people
awful.
people bought this shit.
I had it.
Well, we both had the first one, so we helped fund the second one.
Yes. I
Um,
was a huge wrestling fan. I
Yeah.
had to have it. And I was getting into music, so of course I had to have it.
the Honky Tonk Man is on here, and he has
I
a song
love
called
the Honky Tonk, man. He was awesome. He was Elvis. I'm an Elvis
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, he did the shake, rattle, and roll was his finishing
That's
move.
right.
And
He
I
would break
remember the time-
guitars over people's heads and
right,
shit.
I remember breaking a guitar over Jake the Snake Roberts' head, which is we would have done to the Warden if he was here. Get you in your Elvis costume and just clown him with the acoustic guitar. All right, here's a little bit of the Honky Tonk Man.
I got long sideburns and my hair slicked back. I'm coming to your town in my pink Cadillac. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm just a honky tonk man. I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad. I pick a mean guitar, I wear a blue suede shoes. You ought to hear me sing the snakeskin
That's not as terrible as some of the other ones.
No, you know.
It's still not good, but it's not terrible.
You know what remind me of is Saint Mojo Nixon. You know, that remind me of Elvis is Everywhere.
Elvis is Everywhere, and I totally crapped the bed, man. Didn't talk about when Mojo Nixon passed away. I also something else I had in my notes, and I just glimpsed over it. And by the time we got back around to it, it was like he'd already been passed away for like a month. But speaking of that, Hillbilly Jim and Mojo Nixon are both hosts on the Outlaw Country Station on Sirius XM. Well, Mojo Nixon's not anymore, but
Yeah.
he had a show every week and played a lot of cool stuff. And Hillbilly Jim's on there, and he a couple times a week, and he's really good. He's a good DJ. He plays a lot of kick-ass stuff. If you're into that outlaw kind of country, or he plays a lot of old like Johnny Cash, and he plays some modern stuff. And I really enjoy listening to him. That's one of the I listen to a lot of country these days, and I have that station on a lot when I'm driving.
Sounds interesting. I didn't know Hillbilly Jim was still kicking.
Yeah. He's kind of like very, y'all be good to each other out there. I'm down here on the farm in Kentucky. Just kind of, he plays it up. And
I always liked him. He always seemed like like the guy you want to be friends with.
Yeah. He does have another song on here called Waking Up Alone, which is really bad. I think it's worse than the first one. I guess we can play 2 songs by Hillbilly Jim tonight here.
Another morning waking up alone.
Another night, another fight, seems it never ends. Another town, then another show. Tonight I'll be a hero with thousands of friends. Tomorrow I'll be waking up alone.
All right. I can't take any more of that. It's really terrible.
I like the words though, man. It's like the wrestling version of Faithfully or something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He was trying, and it said it's Hillbilly Jim and Gertrude. I have no idea who the hell Gertrude is.
Yeah, who's
but
Gertrude?
Yeah, I didn't care to go continue down the rabbit hole and find that. But who was awesome on here though was Slick, the manager. Remember him?
Oh, Slick was the man, dude.
Yeah, he has a song called Jive Soul Bro.
Of course he did.
Here.
You see the slick start talking at you, honey. Well, first they love me, and then they don't. Sometimes they do it, and sometimes they won't. So I said to this girl, hey, you get out. And she got to her feet and began to shout, do a jive soul bro, a jive soul bro. And you're always lying to your friends. Do a jive soul bro, a jive soul bro. And you never get nothing in the end.
Now that's some catchy shit, man.
That sounded like some Parliament Funkadelic.
Definitely. I could see how Snoop Dogg stole Slick's like gimmick.
His whole move and
Yeah.
I was like just reading the Wikipedia page of Slick. I could do that tomorrow. I don't need to be doing. It's like, oh, I wonder what.
So interested about
Right, I was
Slick.
like, oh, wonder what he's up to now. He's still alive. A lot of these guys are dead. Like,
well, yeah. The
Nikolai-
wrestling story is a sad story, man.
it really is, dude. I keep meaning to watch the was it like the A&E, like the biographies, a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
And from following the Blue Meanie on Facebook, he shares a lot of stories about some of the guys that he worked with or that he knew passing away and stuff. And that is a really rough industry to be in, man.
Wrestlers, the wrestler story is a sad story, man.
It really
Like,
is.
I just saw the Iron Claw movie.
Yeah, you told me to watch that. I didn't get a chance.
It is so sad. But it shows you like what wrestlers can come to terms with, like what their brains have from the injuries, and wrestling, dude, it's not fake. That shit's real. Those people get hurt, like, or
Sure.
they can get. It's no, you get in that ring, and I talked to Brian about it. You get in the ring with someone that don't know what the fuck they're doing. You're just waiting for an accident ready to happen.
Right. You're putting your body, your trust into another dude to not really jam you up some of those moves.
Can you imagine like some of these like kids fucking around backyard wrestling?
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the like the movie The Wrestler with Mickey
Mickey
Rourke.
Rourke.
Yeah, which
Great
is
movie.
yeah. When we did soundtracks or songs from soundtrack, we totally missed Springsteen.
It's
The
too
Wrestler
sad.
from-
That's why.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
too-
it's a great, it's
yeah.
a great song though.
Oh yeah.
But it's better than that Secret Garden song he did.
Ugh.
Fucking
With the
hate
Jerry
that song.
Maguire.
Yeah.
the background.
I hate that so much.
I like
Um,
Secret Garden.
Yeah,
But-
I hate that song, but that's okay.
Tomato.
Exactly. What else is on here? We could talk. Oh, Mean Gene Okerlund is on here again with Rick Derringer, and he plays Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, which is a song that
God,
Rick,
that's awesome.
that Rick Derringer wrote that song. So here, this is awesome.
I couldn't stop moving when it first took hold. It was a warm spring night in the old town hall. There was a few dollar jumpers, they were laying it down. Don't you know I'm never gonna lose that funky sound? Rock and roll, hoochie coo. Out here, mom, light my views. Rock and roll, hoochie coo.
I dig that.
That's Mean Gene.
Yeah, it's Mean Gene and Rick Derringer.
That's great.
Like his vocals are doubled up a little bit there.
Of
Like there's a
course.
little production on it.
Yeah. I didn't know Mean Gene had such a voice. I mean, he has a voice of his broadcasting voice, but have this voice of a singer.
That's what makes it awesome because he was doing those interviews and the guys, like the legendary Macho Man, like the cream rises to the crop or the
Yeah.
top, and he's all like coked out of his mind or
Yeah.
Hogan. Yeah, and Mean Gene Okerlund had to sit there just like, what the F
He's
am I
like the
doing?
straight guy. Like he had to stand there holding the microphone with like a look on his face.
Exactly. I think we played. Oh no, there's two other songs on here. Vince McMahon is on here. He had a song called
Awesome.
"Stand Back."
When I was just a boy, everybody told me what I should do and who I should be. I got some kind of free advice. I finally had to say, stand back, stand back. They never understood.
That sucks.
Uh,
That was bad.
what do you think is better? The Return of Bruno, Bruce Willis's album, or Vince McMahon?
Oh my god. Probably McMahon because McMahon's got a better like when he goes out like stand back like his
Yeah,
voice.
exactly. He has he puts his voice out there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a stronger, more powerful voice than Bruce Willis. But I never thought I'd be when we started doing the show that we'd be debating the merits of those two. And then the whole band, all the wrestlers get together and they do a song called "If You Only Knew." I don't know what this song is.
I've heard a lot of idle chatter.
That really doesn't matter to me. A lot of you guys want to see me in agony.
But the measure of a man, understand, is more than your common pattern. It's the way I'll make you eat those words that matter. If you only knew what I'm gonna do to you, you'd be running out of here as fast as 2 feet could carry you.
This makes me think of you said when I was playing the "You Just a Fart" last week, and you were
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck is going on, man? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is that?"
Oh my god, dude.
The beginning
Yeah.
reminded me of like a video game theme song.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then-
the beat is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like somebody was like, "I got an idea. This is what we're gonna do." A lot of these songs were written by like the same dude, and I've got something on him a little bit later, but
Sounded like the Super Bowl shuffle.
yeah, that same just kind of like cheesy thing. I don't know. So after they made those two albums, there was also the cartoon we talked about, Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling cartoon. There's not really a lot of rock and roll in it. I don't know why they called it that, but
Because everything was rock and roll in the fucking 80s, man.
that's true. Cyndi Lauper's boyfriend, the manager, he was the producer the guy David Wolf. I totally remember. I watched that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I watched the hell out of it.
It was so cheesy, but
I had a coloring book. I had a coloring book from the Rock and Wrestling.
it was like the wrestlers all didn't do their own voices. It was like all different
Yeah.
actors, and it was pretty cheesy. Like, just I watched some clips of it on YouTube, and it was like the animation sucks. But what the hell do I know? Maybe it's a good spot to take a break.
Smoke 'em as you got 'em.
Yeah, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Stick around.
Prisoners of Rock and Roll is sponsored by McCusker's Tavern at 17th and Shunk Streets in Philadelphia. There's something for everyone on the beer list and the jukebox at McCusker's. It's minutes from the sports stadiums in Philly, making it a great place to stop by for a few drinks before or after a concert or a game. Come see for yourself why everyone from Philadelphia Magazine to Playboy has called it one of the best dive bars in the city. Visit them at 17th and Shunk Streets in Philadelphia or on Facebook. That's McCusker's Tavern. All right, we're back from the commercial break. Thanks so much for sticking with us. Just a reminder, the Prisoners of Rock and Roll is proudly sponsored by Boldfoot Socks. Go check them out at boldfoot.com. So that was the theme from The Ultimate Warrior.
I
And-
love the Ultimate Warrior. He was amazing, man.
I mean, he threw everything like upside down because he beat Hogan.
Oh yeah.
But his theme was written by a dude named Jim Johnson. And Jim Johnson is a music composer who has written most of the wrestling themes, like the instrumentals that come out. And he wrote a lot of the songs that were just on those two albums that we played. I read one article that said he was like the John Williams of wrestling. And like I didn't go through and look at like every single person, but I looked at like themes that he wrote for guys that I know. So he wrote The Warrior, The Rock, The Undertaker, Razor Ramon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle. And I was like, I haven't followed wrestling in over 30 years, but I know all those guys.
Sure.
Dude's just like a really, really big deal. He's not associated with WWE anymore. And of course we're saying WWF because that's what it was called when we were kids, damn it. But yeah, he was associated with them until like 2017. I thought it was kind of cool. There's like one dude that was like his thing, that he wrote like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wrestling themes.
He probably had
So-
a lot of work. He probably worked all the time.
Yeah, sure. And the follow-up to these two albums, 1993, they came out with a WrestleMania album that absolutely bombed. It didn't do well. And the only thing I was going to play from it was, there's a couple things on here that might be worth playing, but Hacksaw Jim Duggan sings on here, and he was like one of my favorites, like a tough guy.
yeah.
Oh, this is really terrible, though. Let's check this out. This is Hacksaw Jim Duggan in his song USA.
I got my 2x4. I got the American flag. I got my 2x4. I got the American flag. A lot of times when you're getting ready to wrestle, you're in the back of the dressing room.
All right, that sucks.
Oh my God, dude. Come on. That shit
under-
was great. That was great. Come on.
The Undertaker is on here. The Undertaker does a song called "The Man in Black," and I please don't be the Johnny Cash song.
Oh, I hope it is.
Dance with the Taker. Rest in peace. The most powerful entity in the World Wrestling Federation. Slam Jam Death. I walk the shadow.
Okay, it's not Johnny
It seems
Cash.
like
It's
it seems like they took a bunch of like interview shit and just put it to awful backbeat shit. I don't know.
I agree. And I don't think we need to listen to it anymore. There's a reason why it did terribly.
Please don't play anymore, man. Please don't play anymore.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with that. But
Thank you.
but right after this happens, a couple years later, Vince McMahon realizes that he's going to go from having the releasing albums. He's like, they change from the wrestlers singing to like compilations of music of like things being, entrance music and all the other kind of stuff. And I never knew this, but the WWE has a record label called the WWE Music Group, and they've put out over 40 friggin' albums.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just looking for more stuff, and I found this, and I was like, oh my God. And there's all like, we'd be here all friggin' night playing all these, but some of them have like gone platinum. And just I put some of the artists on here, and I didn't go real too far down, but what did I got on here? There was like the WWE Aggression album, which was all like hip hop kind of stuff, and like Run DMC is on here, Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, Mystical, Mac 10, Method Man is on here. Method Man did the Rock, a later version of the Rock's theme. I'll play a little bit of that because I could never get enough Method Man.
Oh yeah.
Laying down the smack on you monkey crap candy-coated acts. Enter the squared circle with the great one, the most electrifying moves. Don't touch the station. Children and their children, they all chant with the millions upon millions of Rock's fans. Get ready for the square dance. Here's your chance for a can of ass whooping from the people's champ. If you smell what the Rock's cooking. Smell what the Rock's cooking. If you smell what the Rock's cooking.
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
If you smell what the Rock's cooking.
Yeah, okay.
Why not? Method Man.
Method Man's awesome. I love Method Man.
He knows what's smoking.
Yeah, dude. So that was kind of cool. To the hip hop album. There's a heavy metal album called WWF Full Metal, and trying to look what was on. A lot of this stuff was all things that were written by that guy Jim Johnson, but it was all like music from Bret Hart and all this other stuff. But there's a song on here called "Thorn in Your Eye," and it's by the Wrestlers and a group called Slam Jam. And Slam Jam is a super group with John Oliva, who's in Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Scotty Ian from Anthrax, Kenny Hickey from Typo Negative, and some guys from a couple other relatively well-known bands. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Here you go. Would never know that's like a wrestling song.
No.
Right? It was heavy as hell.
It is really heavy. I totally tell it's Scott Ian. I hear him.
The only other song I have from like modern era that I friggin' love was Triple H's wrestling theme was The Game by Motorhead. And I saw it on there and I was like, there's never not an opportunity to play Motorhead on our show. So, but here you go.
Do it.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game! It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control, and if you can take it, it's all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about fate. And who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna.
I love that song.
Oh, Saint Lemmy.
Lemmy was the best, man.
The world needs someone like Lemmy right now, dude.
Just that big over the top personality.
There's like no like real rocker out there. It's a shame.
Are there any other wrestlers? Like I've been doing all the talking and driving. Are there any other wrestlers you want to talk about their theme songs?
I remember Demolition having a theme song that was pretty rockin'.
Dude, that was cool. That was
I think that's the best song I heard all night.
that was Jimmy Hart singing that. He sounded like Alice Cooper.
Oh, he's a talented guy, man.
He really is, man. This is from an album, the WWE The Federation era. It came out in 2015, and it's got a lot of other stuff from that kind of era on it. Yeah, dude, Jimmy Hart's on here a handful of times. He sang on the Owen Hart song, the Nasty Boys, the Fabulous Roju Brothers. I have no idea who that is. Oh, here's a song called Rock Out. It was the theme for the Rockers. And I'm going to play it
the Rockers.
just because we're the prisoners of rock and roll. Let's play this. And this is probably going to be suck. Okay, yeah. I just looked up who that was. It was Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. And I haven't heard or said the name Marty Jannetty in 30 years. But I was like, oh, I remember him. No.
They were great. The young Shawn. Yeah, absolutely. I remember them. I remember the Killer Bees.
Yes.
They were awesome. Remember they used to put the mask on?
Yeah, they'd hide under the ring and they would come out and you wouldn't know who was who.
That was great.
I've also got some stuff on some other wrestlers who put out music like be outside of wrestling, and we're probably unfortunately going to get back to some bad stuff.
But this is all good stuff, man. This is entertainment.
John Cena's theme music he sings, which I've heard this song before. This is a song called "The Time Is Now." Anyway, I knew that song.
Yeah, I like John Cena. I think has done the most Make-A-Wish Foundation in the history of it. Like he does it like all the time.
I've
he
heard
meets
that.
Kids. Yeah, he's an awesome dude. I like good people, man, and he's a positive role model out there for.
I think that's what I know more about him. Like I couldn't tell you one thing about like his plot. You know, any of his plots as a wrestler, but I've heard that a lot. Here's Jericho, is the singer for a band called Fozzy that's put out a shit ton of albums. I went and looked that up. Here's
friends with the Blue Meanie also.
He is, yes. Here's a
How
song.
about he shows up on Meanie Mania? That'd be the shit. You never know.
He could be a lot. You'd imagine a lot of these guys are all going to be in Philadelphia for WrestleMania. So here's the song Painless from Fozzy. Yeah. It's okay. It sounds like a million other bands that I've heard. But
yeah, I mean, they're always around. They're on the circuit. They play like the WMMR Fest a few years ago. They get around. I mean, he has a following because the wrestling fans follow him. So he gigs,
I've heard the band and I've probably heard their music on the radio or something, but I never put two and two together that he was the lead singer. I've just never paid attention to it enough. But I was like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, again, it sounds like a lot of other hard rock
bands
from the last 10 years. But all right, nothing else that I have is on Spotify, so it's back to YouTube, which normally means it's like not very good. But This one, I can't wait to play this. Classy Freddie Blassie, remember him?
Yes, he was awesome.
He was like a pencil neck geek. And he has a song called Pencil Neck Geek that he put out an album. This is Pencil Neck Geek by Classy Freddie Blassie.
Back when I was a kid, life was going swell. Till something happened. Blew everything to hell. That night my daddy stumbled in, all pale and weak. Said a woman up the block just gave birth to a geek. Mom said, sell it to the circus. What the heck? Dad said, nope, this one's a pencil neck. And if there's one thing lower than a sideshow freak, it's a gritty, scum-sucking pencil neck geek.
That's awful.
It's so bad. Oh my God. And the picture's him like holding a guitar and he's like trying to bite it. He's like, it's fantastically terrible.
Didn't he have the cane?
Yeah. And he wore like a lounge kind of shirt.
Yeah. You know who I love was Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji was cool. Yeah.
All those managers, the lovely Elizabeth.
Yeah, right. Georgie Animal Steel fell in love with her.
Oh, remember that shit? He was great. He used to tear the turnbuckles apart.
As a kid, you know, like before you realize that wrestling is fake, I remember there was an interview with him and he was doing his shtick, right? That he can't talk and he's slow. And then the camera was like, it was over. They're like, all right, we're going to go to commercial. And the camera was like pulling away. And I saw him like, he stepped into like who he was and he started talking to whoever was interviewing him. And I was like, it ruined it for me. And I was like so heartbroken. I was like, oh no.
He was in the movie Ed Wood.
What? Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like a teacher.
He was
a wrestler.
That's correct. He was a high school, like a science teacher.
Amazing.
And also, the Blue Meanie's not the only wrestler from around here. King Kong Bundy was from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yes. Bam Bam Bigelow's from Asbury Park.
Asbury Park. If you go to the legendary the Wonder Bar, there's pictures in there of him. He used to be a bouncer down the street from the Stone Pony. Oh, okay. The last one I have, I got a couple songs from it, and this is Hulk Hogan. Brother, he came out with an album called Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band Sings Hulk Rules. And holy shit, man. So I got two songs I want to play. The first one is called I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac, which kind of sounds like most of the other stuff that's on this album. Here you go.
How to stay on track. You gotta train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins too. These are all the things that the maniacs do. Positive thoughts and positive deeds. These are the things that make you succeed. Always be good to your family and friends. They're the only ones that'll be there in the end.
Oh my God. Hulk Hogan was such my hero. I think today, if I met him, I would be starstruck.
As I was researching this, I was trying to find out like what year it came out, and I came across the Amazon reviews for this album. I want to read just two of them. The first one is by somebody named Charlie, and it says, this album is the masterpiece that defined a generation. Hulk Rules is considered the most important album of the 20th century. Hulk Hogan has been universally accepted and renowned as a great musician, but this album puts him in the ranks of and easily above the Beatles and Mozart. Words can't even begin to describe this accomplishment of modern music. And then this one is so funny. This is by Jimbo Slice. Warning, listening to this album may lead to 26-inch pythons and extreme awesomeness. I popped it in before my workout one day, and then I blacked out. A month later, I found my shirt had me in a stranglehold. Luckily, the fabric was no match for my now massive triceps, and I shredded it to pieces in seconds. I looked around my house to find training, prayers, and vitamins really are the secrets of success. At this point, I can't keep women away from me, and everywhere I go, they crowd around vying for attention. Rich men just hand me money as they stare in awe at the physical specimen before them. During a recent trip to the zoo, all of the animals cowered in fear at the sight of me, except for the hippo. But within minutes of jumping into the enclosure, I was riding it around like a slightly squishy jet ski. The only drawback is now I'm unable to open a bag of potato chips without sending a shower of food across the room. Do yourself a favor, brother, and go pick up a copy of this album today. And that goes on
That
for
makes
like
me want to buy it. That makes me want to buy it.
there's hundreds and hundreds of these. It's it's awesome. All right, so the next song I want to play, man, it's called Little Hulkster in Heaven.
Oh my God.
He said, so the story was that there was a kid who was like a Make-A-Wish kid and said he wanted to watch Hulk Hulkster wrestle, and he died. And a lot of people argue now that that is completely full of shit and that never happened, and Hulk Hogan just wrote this song. Because people say that Hulk Hogan, like, will give an interview and he'll say like 4 different conflicting things in the same like hour interview about the same topic. They're like, he's colossally full of shit. So
don't say that about the Hulk.
Had I not seen that story, I would not have played this because I would have been a total asshole for as hard as I laughed listening to this morning at work. This is Little Hulkster in Heaven. This is him actually trying to sing.
God.
I saw it on TV. I guess it'll be one empty seat when I wrestle at Wembley. I used to tear my shirt, but now you tore my heart. I knew you were a Hulkamaniac right from the very start. Right from the start, you were my friend. I'll see you again. When the Hulkster comes to heaven, 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 we'll tag up again, again.
That is one of the worst things I have ever heard.
That's
so bad.
So awful that he made that up.
And it's like the YouTube comments are just like, rest in peace to the kid that doesn't exist that the song is dedicated to. And, you know, when imaginary kid dies, it hurts all of us, but the Hulk hurts the most. And just like, it's hysterical. I was actually dead until last week. My best friend played this song by my grave, and Hulk's love brought me back to life. I shot up through the coffin through 6 feet of dirt and then 30,000 feet into the air where I landed on the wing of an F-16, tore off my shirt and yelled, "What you gonna do, Death, when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" So people largely say that was full of shit. And I was like, man, we listened to a lot of bad music doing this show, and that was one of the worst things I've ever heard.
I have no words.
Do we got anything else? What else to say?
You're doing a great job on life, Bruce. You had a lot of useless information about the wrestling album.
Well, let's move on to the back end of the show. And you're right. I spent a lot of time learning about something that I don't care about, but
that's how dedicated you are to this show.
That's right.
You will torture yourself.
Luckily, I've started going into work at like 7, so I can leave a little earlier. So I got a good hour before nobody else is in the office other than me, and that's when I'm listening to this stuff. So nobody comes by and like, what are you listening to? All right, music news. I got there's a new Beach Boys documentary coming out. So there's a documentary called The Beach Boys coming to Apple Plus in May. It's produced by the same dude who did the video for Springsteen on Broadway, and the guy who did the Bee Gees documentary, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? So I'll check that out. Like, and they're interviewing they're going to interview like some of the guys that are still alive and all that stuff. So I'm like, cool.
They have a great story. They have a really great story.
And they got it's a effed up story. A lot of
It's a sad story. Brian Wilson, man, poor Brian Wilson.
One of those tragic, mental illness, and
that just shows you what like abuse does to someone later in life when they're trying to deal with it. You just couldn't.
And they're one of the greatest American rock and roll bands of all time.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Nobody sang harmonies like the Beach Boys did.
And if you disagree with that, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I totally agree. And then this other weird story going on is like Puff Daddy. You been reading any of this shit? So
go for it.
So I don't even know all the details, but it's like Sean Combs's houses in LA and Miami were both raided simultaneously by Homeland Security as part of an investigation into like sex trafficking. And there's all these rumors that he's like the Jeffrey Epstein of like the music industry. Like there's rumors that he's like he raped like Meek Mill and he raped Usher when Usher was a kid, and that he sexually assaulted all these women, and that he there's some rumor that like Jay-Z got another woman pregnant and Puff Daddy had her killed because Jay-Z was married to Beyonce, and like all this crazy shit. And his houses got raided for all this like sex trafficking. And the story is that like Puff Daddy got on his private jet and he like fled the country, and he's like in the Caribbean somewhere where there's no extradition to the United States. Like he's running from the law. But just crazy story. I'm not spending too much time on it because I'm just, I only have so much time in the day, and I don't want to spend it reading about somebody being a scumbag. But
he's shitbag of the week.
Shitbag of the week. Dun dun dun. Innocent until proven guilty and all that stuff. But
this looks like another R. Kelly thing.
Right. That's somebody at work said today. And there was always, was he involved in the Biggie Tupac thing? And there was always like rumors floating around that he had a bad side to him. But
yeah, you think Puff Daddy's a nice guy? You think he got to where he's at for being a nice guy? No way.
Right.
No way.
He made a career just going, yeah. Like when he came out from behind being a producer and started making his own stuff, just
he was
yeah. Anyway, I'll be keeping an eye on that story. But of course, like you try to read about it, and then the wackadoodles on the internet, they're like that bridge in Baltimore was hit on purpose to distract us from Puff Daddy's, like that level of like craziness. But
really,
yeah, dude, there's like the every moron has a theory. But anyway, second thoughts. The only thing I had was you said somebody came up to you at the bar about a Neil Young song.
Yes, somebody came up to the bar and I was talking about our show. And I said, we're the prisoners of rock and roll. He's like, wait a minute, that's a Neil Young song. I'm like, is it? Well, I never heard it.
I didn't know it either, but it is.
Now that Neil Young's on Spotify, let's take a
right. We can let's do it, and we'll give him some royalties.
It's awful.
Yeah, I like our Springsteen closing of Prisoners of Rock and Roll more than that.
That could have been on the wrestling album. That's how bad that song was.
Some off-brand, one of those like jobbers that would come out, like Iron Mike Sharp, or one of those like the D-level dudes.
Yeah.
All right, the electric chair. You got something? If you don't, I do.
No, you're on a roll, man.
All right. So the electric chair is where we kill something for being terrible. And I think I found a good one. I, on purpose, did not mention that Randy Macho Man Savage came out with an album in 2005 called Be a Man. This whole album, Jesus Christ. I'm looking through the song track to find one to play. And he has a song called Hit the Floor with DJ Kool, the Let Me Clear My Throat.
Nah.
I can't even do the Macho Man voice again because my voice actually it's still sore from doing the monologue 2 hours ago. But here, this is
with Slim Jim.
I love that it builds up. You got to wait to hear Macho Man come in.
And if I tell you again, I'm about to kick some butt. So don't sleep. I'm constantly dropping a bomb. Like on your CD ROM, it's machoman.com. New school wrestlers, take it from me. This game's like school, you gotta earn a degree. It's a compliment when y'all imitate me. But it's war if you try to intimidate me. SOHK's the curriculum. That's the school of hard knocks, we don't pick no bumps. So you gotta be hard if you
Okay.
That's awful. I mean, DJ Cool's the man.
We sentence you to death.
Yeah. That song was like 4 minutes long, and there's 14 tracks on it.
God, who bought that record?
Oh my God. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of plays on Spotify, but
dude, tell us about Flavor Flav.
Oh yeah, dude. I should have put this in second thoughts. I was looking at Twitter on our Twitter account, and somebody put a video, or Flavor Flav shared a video of him backstage at Bruce Springsteen, and he walks up to Bruce and he hugs him, and they're like bowing before each other, and Flavor Flav is like, you can tell he's a fan, because there's also videos of him like on the side of the stage, and he's like jumping up and down and dancing during the Springsteen concert. And I commented as us. I'm like, this is the crossover event that we all need. And only one person liked the comment when we made it, and it was Flavor Flav. And I was like, holy shit, Flavor Flav. And yes,
Flavor Flav.
Right. And other people are like, yeah, Jersey boy. And then I was like, hey man, like, dude, you should totally collaborate with Springsteen. You kicked it on the they worked with Steven Stills on the He Got Game soundtrack.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
I was like, dude, you guys would be awesome together. And he liked that too. So I was like, oh, he's kind of like a friend of ours now.
He's a friend of the show.
Right. He liked 2 of our tweets. That makes him like, he loves us. So
who doesn't?
And then I was trying to explain to my youngest who Public Enemy was, and he had no idea. And I was like, dude, you don't like The Clock? You don't know that? And he's like, no. And I played some Public Enemy in the car, and he was like, this is like old people music. I was like, dude,
wow.
I was like, man, Public Enemy, this is like,
kicked his ass out of that car.
I was like, this is like the pinnacle of hip hop music, man. I was like, dude, Chuck D was the best.
You should tell them, it's like, Chuck D's rapping about people like you.
The ignorant people, you got to like stay in school, get an education. And we say so many times, you like good people. Chuck D was always like positive message. And
yep.
And then Flavor Flav was like the toady and the clown and everything
That's
else.
Me.
But yeah.
Like, I'm the Flavor Flav of the show.
You know what else too, man? Like you mentioned Flavor Flav. He sang the national anthem at like a Houston Rockets game a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
And it wasn't very good, but he was like, hey man, like I got up there and I tried my best. And that like, it was so like positive. And a lot of the comments were overwhelmingly like, yeah, dude, this wasn't very good, but you tried really hard. And I respect that. And I appreciate it. And he was like, I'm not a soul singer.
Yeah.
And it was like, it just made me respect him a little bit more, because he is like a cartoon character, right? By design, but.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing his gimmick for over 40 years. He had his own TV show, as bad as it was.
Yeah, the dating shows and.
Yeah. He's definitely hip hop royalty.
Sure. We have to do it now at some point about Public Enemy, or
totally.
They're one of the best, I don't know, 2 or 3 best hip hop groups of all time. I saw that Chuck D's written a couple books. I was like, I would love to hear just his thoughts on anything.
Sure.
All right, man. That'll do it for episode 81, Wrestling and Rock and Roll. A lot of the stuff we played on here isn't on the streaming services, so you're going to have to go digging on YouTube for it. But for the stuff that is streaming, we put together an episode playlist, so you can go check out the full versions and support the artist. There's a link to it down in the show notes. And while you're there, you can find a link to our website, www.prisonersofrockandroll.com, and our email address is show@prisonersofrockandroll.com, our Facebook, our Twitter accounts, and a map to McCusker's Tavern in Philadelphia. And as we mentioned, there's a couple big things going on at McCusker's. The first one being Meanie Mania on April 4th. I'm sure McCusker's going to be jumping that whole weekend with WrestleMania going on and all these people coming into town. And then on May 4th, you can go see Ryan's band, High Street Records. They're going to be crushing it. I've seen them a couple times. They always bring it and put on a great show. McCusker's is going to be jumping that night.
Oh, dude, we've been rehearsing hard. We got nothing but fun songs. We're going to have a great time, dude. I hope everybody shows up.
There's apps. You guys play no piss in a beer songs where it's time to like, oh, let me this one. Let me go get a beer and take a leak.
Not at all.
There are none of those. There are no bummers. Nothing is a drag. It is a party. The warden is probably going to be there, so you might want to get there early. because you know how his fans follow him everywhere.
He's like maybe he'll do a meet and greet. You think we could talk him into it?
He would probably do that.
Yeah, we may have to pay him a little bit, but you know,
we get like 8x10 photos of him that he could sign. He took a picture wearing one of the Prisoners of Rock and Roll shirts in front of Mount Rushmore when he went out on vacation with us. So
that's what we need 8x10s by that.
Yeah, we get like a nice like black and white 8x10 that he could sign with a Sharpie, and you know,
dude,
that
I'll
would be
hang
fun.
that up in the bar.
That would.
I want that for real. I want that for real.
We can make that happen. That would be awesome. We'll donate the proceeds to charity or something. That would be awesome.
His own charity.
Right. I was like, no, we'll find a charity that like one of the charities that like Josh from Boldfoot supports through his company. And it was like, yeah, we sell some 8x10s to the ward and we'll donate the money to like a veteran charity or something. That would be cool. So look at that, man. We're trying to change the world. So
one joke at a time.
That's right. It's all we can do, man. We're pushing that boulder up the hill and we're exploring the depths of musical hell and bringing entertaining stories to everybody. So
we're here to educate and entertain.
Yes, my friend, this was a fun one. I learned a lot of stuff I didn't need to know.
Dude, I hope everybody enjoys WrestleMania. What is it on Hulu or some shit? It's like free to watch now. It's not a pay-per-view.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know. I watched it one year on Hulu or some shit like that. I don't know. I'll probably watch it.
I remember going to like Garden State Park and paying like $20 to go in and like watch it on like a huge watch the pay-per-view.
Oh, they did that to Spectrum in Philadelphia. Absolutely.
20,000 people coming in to watch it. Crazy.
I always got pay-per-view at home, so we were full of brats.
Oh,
yeah,
living the high life. So,
I never stopped.
That's true. That's why you're Ryan McCusker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, my brother. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.
Keep on rocking.
Peace out.
I'm just a prisoner.